this is the broken tooth camshaft, all because of that right there. Now check this out, how good this thing rolls over. It's insane. Especially considering the whole reason why I ended up with this engine project is it originally looked like this before I got it. You remember the Streamliner Hemi right here? Check this out. Now this thing has taken a flogging, and that's intentional because if you remember from the videos that we did on this, we had to have a certain power and torque curve for every gear in the Streamliner. 10 speeds, 10 gears. We couldn't even get to all of them. You have to go over the video and see why. And then this thing has got crazy crud that goes on with it too. It is time for freshen up. Never's gone in the car, but this thing is the test mule, and beating on it and beating on it and figuring it out, figuring it out, figuring it out. So it's time to tear this thing apart and check it all out. I'm going to show you all a teardown and what we find and something that makes this kind of horsepower and has been beat like this thing. All because it's going to go in the Streamliner later. All right, so as we got the valve covers and intake manifold off, I thought you might find this a little bit interesting of how the rocker arm system works on these big Hemis like this. All right, now these are Manton rocker arms, so the boys over at Manton are our buddies. Obviously, they do a lot of stuff for us and our SMX and SML stuff, and they make these rocker arms for Noonan. All right, but one thing that is kind of neat is, now I want to show you something here. Now watch this rocker arm. Oh my gosh, there's something wrong. No, that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Now, how this all works is this push rod is still on a relatively reasonable angle here that is actually pushes the rocker arm that direction. So as the rocker arm comes up, let me roll it over and I'll show you. So as the push rod is coming up, forcing that rocker arm down, it is actually pushing this rocker arm this way. There is a hardened spring shim right down in there that keeps this located and is basically the wear plate for it. Now, the exhaust does the exact same thing. So the intake is pushing this way, and the exhaust is pushing that way on the rocker arms to keep the rocker arms centered. So it's very important that that washer is in, hardened steel washer is in there, shim plate, to keep everything in the right location. All right, now when these are ready to come off, just like so, let's see where we're at here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one's just a little tight, which is fine. Oops. All right. Oh, see, and I moved that before it was ready to be moved, and now you can see a great big gap over here. So I've actually got this kind of bound up just a slight bit here. So let me see if I can get this. There we go. See how that just popped over? That's because I pushed it over and moved it. So it had a little bit of pressure on it. But anyways, now how you take this off, since this is a one-piece stand deal, so I can't just, there's no way this rocker is on this whole shaft. You do not take the rocker arm off. The rocker arm never comes off. Okay, so it rides on this shaft. It's pressure oil fed through the shaft. And how we take this off, we do the cardinal rule that I absolutely cannot stand people doing, is I have to back the adjuster nut off in order to just even get this rocker arm stand off. But since I'm tearing it apart, I can visually see if there's any issue, if there's any problem with it before I take it apart. So we'll just sit here and we will back the jam nut off. Then we will back the adjuster off, push this rocker arm all the way over there, push it down, take the push rod out of it, like so. Now this can go back over here, just like normal, and I need to do that with each one of these rocker arms. Move it till it has lash. I'll check the lash, make sure everything feels good. I won't check the actual lash, but I just want to make sure everything is good. And then adjust the adjuster all the way out, move the rocker arm over, take the push rod out, then move on to the next one. Then I'll take the stand off. All right, so all the push rods out, rocker arms are moving very nice. I'll inspect those a little bit later, but push rods are really nice. Everything looks really good through there. So that's fine. Didn't expect to find any problems. We're just doing a freshen up. We're actually just gonna put rods in it. This is the main thing. And just check everything all out and see where we're at, make sure everything is right, make sure everything looks good. Go through spring dyno, that kind of stuff. So let's get these rocker arm stands off, and then I'll show you how. It's an interesting way that they oil them. I mean, it's nice. These have a spring oiler right here, a intake spring oiler. Now, this is a particular Hemi deal. They'll put spring oilers in wedge stuff all the time, and some people do that a lot. I put a lot of oil at the top half of drag and drive engines because 99% of our stuff is wedge stuff. And the springs actually are typically in a oil bath situation, and the way the rocker arms spray oil out through, and these don't, so there's a lot of oil up in the valve covers of a wedge style engine, at least the way we do it. But in a Hemi, it needs that spring oiler right here because there's no way for this whole area right here to get oil, ever. So I'll take this rocker arm stand off, and we'll show you that.
Are you doing rods just because of time?
Yes, it is just
same rods.
Just been beating on it, and yeah, just gonna put the same rod right back in it. Probably put rings in it. I just want to look at everything. It's always good to do that. Verify this thing before it goes to the next step, starting to put it in a car. All right, now we'll take out, if you remember too, another thing that we had run across with this engine was the broken camshaft from a cam sync. The cam sync failed, the bronze gear locked up, and the bronze gear broke the billet tooth off of the camshaft. Another camshaft. That video's right here.
Whole ring might not be reusable.
Mm-hmm. And now, yeah, because what had happened, oh yeah, see, tore O-ring. That tore it when I took it out, but the bearing had blown up inside the cam sync, locked up the gear, and that stupid bronze gear actually broke that billet camshaft. Now, if you've noticed, notice all the water running out? Because this is actually a rarity. Unlike all the, like the Proline Hemis everybody talks about too, which are awesome, but they are solid engines. There is no water in the engine. You're not driving that engine for more than 30 seconds a minute, whatever, okay? But these, and this is not mine, this is a Noonan Hemi that we build, but these are water jacketed. And we can look inside the exhaust port here. It's interesting. That's kind of an interesting thing there. See the fuel trail? That's a fuel / exhaust trail around that valve guide. That's actually nice. It's interesting right there. That is, because that is just wipes right off. Now these are hooped. We got a little bit of tracking out here, just minimal. But this is the smallest stud in the bunch. These are some big Billy Bad Boy studs. These are Billy Bad Boy studs. Big Billy Bad Boy studs. Studs. So you can see here that these are O-ring because these are oil return. And then this, I gotta track it all down, but one of these two are oil pressure up to the cylinder head. All right. So if you look here, let me grab my handy dandy light. All right, we'll shine it down the hole here, and that comes out right there. All right, it actually crosses over. It's right there. See it?
Yep.
Right there. So it's just the oil drain back, and then these are pressure. My bad, I forgot because it's been just a little bit since I've been through here. This is oil pressure, oil pressure, oil pressure, oil pressure. Those feed the rocker arm stand, the entire stand, which oils all the rocker arms, everything through there. This whole area here is all oiled, is an oil bath setup. And then I already showed you the oil squirters up on top. There we go. Okay. This takes me a second. I gotta come back through and just look at it real quick. All right, so let's get this other cylinder head off of here, but this one's looking great. So that is good. Put that right there. Valves look nice. Everything's good there. Combustion chambers look good. Everybody's all happy there. This is a water passage here. What you will notice though is there is no water over here, because push rods all run through here. It is nearly impossible. One of the reasons I haven't ever done a water jacketed Hemi is that you can't get water everywhere in it. So there's some problems with this type of conventional style Hemi. Look at the here. Head gaskets look nice. Nice, nice. Pistons are good. Everything looks real nice through here. Now this particular engine is a 535 cubic inch deal. So it is looking pretty fantastic. Looks good. I like everything that's going on there. All right, so let's get this other head off of there and take a look at that one. Oh, more water coming out. Oh, this is interesting. Like to talk about the water, and this is not your typical one. Now, like the Noonan Hemi that Extreme Engines builds, Carl Stevens, which has the World Pro Modified record, fast as you can be. That is fast, scary fast, amazingly fast. That's a Noonan Billet Hemi, solid. Not this one, because you ain't making that kind of horsepower with this, okay? But this is still a 4,000 horsepower deal that we build. But I don't make Hemis. Build Hemis, don't make them. And this one is, yeah, looking great. Yeah, everything looks good there. Yeah, so far this thing's looking pretty sweet. Pretty happy with everything there. Let's see over here. Yeah, all right. Excellent. So everything's looking good so far. Let's get this gasket off. Oh, I showing you the great big studs here. These are, what are they? I think these are a 5/8. You notice that they're shiny because these are Billy Bad Boys right here. Big Billy Bad Boys. Very expensive. Unobtainium. These are standard Billy Bad Boy, and like I said, these ones down here were just in the cylinder head are just studs. See, you got all sorts of I have classifications for studs. Big Billy Bad Boy, Billy Bad Boy, stud, stud. All right, obviously, the first thing you always look for is it clean? Yes, it is. Notice that it's green. This is driven Nitro 70 that's in this. Didn't have, because I know this quite a while ago. We've been doing all the work on this, and it's just gotten that point in time where we had to start doing this again. I didn't have the SM oil, the smoil, blue smoil yet. And, well, still don't have it 100% yet, but I got it. So anyways, always look in your oil pan. I mean, you're looking there. That's just clean. That's just oil. Now, this is on methanol, too, so. All right, so let's roll this thing over. Right, drain a little bit of water through here, a little bit of oil. Now check this out, how good this thing rolls over. It's insane. Especially considering the whole reason why I ended up with this engine project is it originally looked like this before I got it. So I'm not even sure how this ever got this far, but these are the worst spun main caps I've ever seen in my life. So this cap came off of this block and this block was damaged that bad. Crazy. And so Noonan actually fixed the block. I didn't actually fix this one. This one got fixed before I ever got it. But so we did final machine work and assembly, and then working on tune-up and just doing the design on everything that has to happen here. But that is freaking crazy. After it's run, after all those dyno hits, insanely good. All right, and there we go. Now I'll show you here. I dug it out of the pile. Notice this super nice skewer right there. Oh, nice, super nice. And interesting that it's actually bigger too. But this is the broken tooth camshaft because of this. All because of that right there. Because this didn't turn until I took it all apart. And I torqued it because it was solid. Like there. Locked up. Locked that up. Spun that. And that's what you see some of this trash throughout the engine is. So if we look at it here, I'll show you. All things said and done, I think everything looks really good. It did obviously run some of that trash through there. Because definitely gonna have to go. We were so close to being done when it did that. We thought we were not going to do another 50 pulls or whatever we ended up doing. But, you know, I didn't take it 100% apart. So there's probably a little bit of trash that run through there. Probably went through the oil pump too, I'm sure. In fact, I guarantee it went through the oil. Some of it went through the oil pump. And probably just had a couple little things here. It says these little gouges right here for sure. That one. Because that looks like, that's just like like some sharp edge something that just went through there and that was it. So it's not like the whole thing is destroyed. It just had went through there. Everything else, this one here it has the same thing and on the cap side, so it's all the way around. Otherwise, everything looks pretty darn reasonable here. You gotta keep in mind, these bearings, this is what they look like from the factory, okay? They have this gray coating on them. And the connecting rods, now these are an R&R connecting rod. They're also a real good connecting rod. I use those. Those are nice. Now this piston here is a diamond piston and it's done a little bit differently. Now it's got some scuff right through here for sure that I need to address. But all things said and done, I think what we're gonna end up doing here, well, that's interesting. That's all right, that's cool. It's a double gas port. Yep, so that looks nice. I think we're gonna do the line-to-line coating on these and take up all some excessive clearance. I think that's got a little bit from rock. And otherwise, you know, R&R. These things are really pretty darn nice. I know these, like I said, are a diamond piston, R&R connecting rod, but we got so much time on these connecting rods, they've taken a beating. There's no sense saying, oh yeah, man, they're good for like 3-5 mile passes. Okay, keep in mind that's 5 miles. Okay, so, and then, but you got to get them out of there on the 5th one or whatever. I mean, that's just dumb. So we'll just put brand new rods in this thing, make sure this thing's all fresh, ready to rock and roll. Pistons, think we're just gonna do line to line. Rings look good. I don't think anything is, yeah, nothing's beat up here. You can actually see this is actually rust. Because in between dyno sessions, it would end up having to sit for quite a while. Actually, some of this is, you know, this is, seeing as that was rust that was sitting on top of there, and you can see a little bit right there, it probably is actually rust that has caused some of that right there, to tell you the truth. It is on both sides though. So it's got a little bit of a rot problem. I think this thing's just got too much clearance. I think we're gonna add that line-to-line coating on this because I don't think the pistons are in need of change. So I think we're just gonna put rods in this thing. Pistons look great. Camshaft looks great. Bearings look great. You can see everything here is nice. And I've said this several times throughout the years that Noonan are the people that I try to copy machine work from. What I mean by that is their machine work is really nice. So I always try to duplicate that, and we do now. It takes a long time to duplicate the tool pathing. Yes, how things just look. You know, now that's a series 1 engine, but you know, on our SMX, our SML stuff, we've been trying to copy what they do as far as tool pathing and stuff. I do not build or make Hemi engines. I don't know why Noonan doesn't send me any work like this, but that's whatever. I'm more than happy to, and always would build their Hemi engines. I think they're awesome because I'm not gonna make one. I just rather use theirs. But anyways, it's really nice stuff. Always is nice stuff, and I always like to all this nice tool pathing down here. It's just always so doggone nice. And someday we need to do this. I just haven't gotten around to it on building O-rings for the cylinder heads. And this one doesn't have O-rings on the China wall. Would be nice if it did. It's a little harder to put it up there because if you're juggling head gaskets around, it keeps on getting more or less, and then all of a sudden the O-ring doesn't seal. So that's why it's a little harder to put up there. But anyways, this stuff looks like $1 million. I think we're just literally going to I'll retouch hone this, do a line-to-line coating on it. Cylinder bores are nice, outside a little bit of scuff on it, but we just flogged on this thing, and there was a lot of times where the tune-up was not quite right on it and just figuring out the tune-up. And then these low RPM lug it like it's gonna lug in the streamliner. So you gotta keep in mind these things are 10 speeds. And so if you go back to that video, it's really pretty fascinating. I could only pull it up through, I think we only ended up going through 5 gears worth of dynoing, which is 50, 70, 80 pull, whatever. There's, I don't remember how many. But anyways, it's astronomical because 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear, 10th gear, all of those gears are at such a high horsepower level and such a long time span that a water brake absorber can't do that. I've talked about that in some other videos too. If you got questions about it, maybe we'll recover it. But anyways, this thing's pretty good.
Wasn't even refreshed from when it was Pro Charged, right? Because when it was
Oh, that's right.
All we did was change the camshaft, or did we not even do that?
No, I did. Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, this thing started out life as a broken engine. Send me a bucket of parts. Noonan fixed the block, and then I get a bucket of rest of the parts, and then got to build something. It used to be Pro Charged. So we dynoed the snot out of this Pro Charged. Figured out that, you know, for power curves and how it has to drive in the car, this the Pro Charger goes through a little dead spot and then whoop, sweet spot where it just takes right off. Not very controllable. Changed it over to great big single turbo, and that's the last stuff that you've seen. So I mean, this thing is run and run and run. In fact, it's got more runs than what probably Nate just put down there. This thing has got astronomical amount of runtime on it. Just enough that we need to start rebuilding this. Lifters look great. Everything looks great. Yeah, this thing's really nice. So, like I said, we're just going to touch up the hone. I think I'm going to touch up the valve job. Just make sure everything looks real good in the heads. I think everything's going on nice there. These are directly at Noonan. I don't touch it. There's nothing I do here. This stuff's nice. Really, very nice. So I just clean everything up, make sure everything looks good, make sure the valve job looks good. Valve guides are nice. Should be perfectly fine. Everything should be good there. That I'm not worried about. This type of engine never gets on a rev limiter ever. And never has been on a rev limiter since I drive it. Or, well, I don't drive it, since I drive it on the dyno. Then, so that's good. We'll just go through valve train stuff, make sure it is perfect. Looks like it's perfect. Manton rocker arm. Foot block looks good. I'm pretty darn happy with it. I think this is a nice, easy freshen up. I'm gonna get these rods going, rock and roll, and get another set of R&R rods for this one. Throw some bearings, rings, line coating. Bang. Ship it out. On to the next 4 engines that they have for the same car. So different cubic inch sizes, and it's going to take a while because we're developing and working on each individual one separately. It just takes a lot of time, but we're getting after it. So I'm not going to bore you with taking the man caps off it, but that is, I'll guarantee you, that's pretty goddamn nice. So I know there's no problem there. It might have run a couple pieces of trash through it, but I think everything's good there. So I think this is time to check out of this video.
You have to do the finger test though. So like, that's how you know if you know what you're doing, if you're building an engine or not. Can you push it like this with your pinky? I can't remember who told me that. It was the most nonsense thing I've ever heard.
It was the silliest thing I ever heard. It was Mark Lamood.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. God bless you, Mark Lamood, if you're watching. I haven't talked to you in a long time. You need to call. But anyways, yeah, no, that's pretty goddamn good. So anyways, that's all we got for this one. And we're going to just button this up like I said. And, oh, we got a really good video coming up Thursday on the wagon. I'm going to have shocks here. We're going to start going over the next process of the drag radial changeover. So come back Thursday. Like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. Have a great day.